What's happening? And welcome back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. This is Jay Moore, the healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. Today, we're just going to jump into how to make decisions based on what you want. And this episode is really, a culmination of, making the mistakes and really seeing what the path has to be when you actually desire something. So if you're a faith-based entrepreneur, someone who's faith-driven, looking to make a difference in your own life, but you also want to make a difference in the lives of others, one of the things that we have to do is make the right decisions based on what we already said we wanted. So today, I just want to make a quick announcement that I'm having this is second installment of Conversations with an Author. I'm going to be interviewing a good friend of mine, David Harris. He is a publisher of Harris Publishing. He's also a he's written multiple books, and he coaches high-level entrepreneurs. And so I just thought it would be best to bring him on, have a conversation with him about writing, about story, about, just transformation. And that's going to be at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on July the 3rd today. Because if you listen to this today, that's when it's going to be. So 11:30 Eastern Time, and you'll be able to catch that on Facebook and on YouTube. Also, the best-selling book that you want to get your hands on is Beyond Tax Strategy. That's a best-selling new release in the category of small business taxes on Amazon right now. You want to grab that copy. If you're a faith-driven entrepreneur, someone looking to get to the next level, someone looking to do great things in your business, you don't want to lose because you didn't understand the tax game. So go grab that copy of that book. And when you get it, come back to Facebook, wherever, take a picture, tag me on it, and say, hey, man, I got the book. I'm going to read it, because there's no sense in buying a book if you're not going to read it. So you want to definitely read it. It's an easy read, a fun read for those who are looking to take their lives and business to the next level. So, and last but not least, if you have not subscribed to the podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, wherever you're watching it, wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this so that other people can see things like this. Look, YouTube and Facebook and these places, they will not show it to other people without knowing that you like it. So if you like it, make sure you do that. We appreciate that. We want to make an impact in the world. That's one of the decisions that we made. And so I'm asking you if you would at least just be a part of the journey, man, so we can all get there together. That's my heart for us all to do. All right. How to make decisions based on what you want. So actually, maybe about a couple of months ago, I was talking to my friend David Harris, who I'm going to interview today. And why was I talking to him? I was talking to him about something. I can't remember exactly what it was. Oh, I took a personality test, and he gave me this personality test to take. And he asked me a question. Look, I'm preparing a presentation for the Tax Game Masterclass. And one of the things that came to mind as to help people how to discover tax strategy and understand how it really works is the answer is a question, right? Write that down. The answer is a question. A lot of times we want the answer without asking the right question. So we have to ask the right question. So he asked me a question. What's your top 3 goals for 2024? Man, it's exciting because when you have a goal, and I want to reframe that for us, an objective, let's say that. When you have an objective to do something, your intention has to change. Say that with me. When I have an objective for something, my intention has to change. And when our intention changes, everything changes. That's a tax strategy. I use intention to describe how taxes work. See, the intention is when you say you're going to do something, when you think about doing something, leads to what you actually do. So intention is the leader. Intention is the leader. So when I make a decision, I have to use intention, because once I make a decision, hey, I would like to be a best-selling author. I would like to sell 10,000 books, right? That's a lot. I mean, For a new author, a young author, that's a decent amount. That's a lot of books when most authors never sell 500 copies of their book. So when I say 10, when he asked me this question, I said, I'd love to be able to sell. I would like, I didn't say just love, I would like to sell 10,000 copies. That is my objective this year. Not over the lifetime, but this year. Why not? I don't see why it wouldn't be possible. Someone else has done that. So when he asked me the question, it's like my intention had to then start aligning, which then means that all the decisions that I start to make have to align with that intention. See, when we make a decision, right? When we make a decision, it's like, okay, I would like to be a multi-million-dollar business, and I would like to make the $1 million on one day if possible. I'd like to make $1 million in a day if possible. Like, is that possible? Well, from what I heard, it is. People do it all the time. They run an event and they make millions of dollars at the event. Like, what? When the average person is working 40 years to get to $1 million. What? But then you got somebody that worked one day and they got $1 million. How was that possible? I wrote something down on my phone based on that this morning while I was at the gym. I said, the $1 million a day formula. The $1 million a day formula. There's a formula. In taxes, there's a formula. In life, there's a formula. In business, there's a formula. Everything's a formula. What is a formula? Like, what kind of decision does a person have to make to say, you know what, instead of just making $1 million over the course of the year, I would like to see how that's possible to do it in one day. What is the formula for that? See, the formula is not the fact that you can just get the formula and say it's A plus B equals C. The problem that we face, especially as faith-driven entrepreneurs, we see the formula because we've been told. Typically, someone told you what the formula was. If you're a faith-driven entrepreneur, you've hired coaches, you read the books, you're doing the stuff, you're showing up to the events. So you've seen the formula. But here's what I discovered in watching one of my mentors and coaches over the past couple of years. I said, I got to stop just watching the stuff that he's doing, but becoming aware of actually what he's doing. You probably didn't catch that. See, a lot of times we're just watching it. Like, we're just watching it for entertainment. Man, that's cool. We're seeing it happen. We're excited for them, but we're not looking at it saying, oh, wait a second. Look at how he's talking. Look at how he's moving. Look at how he presented that, and look at how he moved, like he changed his voice, or look at how he got really excited, or look at how he structured that. It's really it's like dissecting everything. See, because the decisions we make will take us where it is that we want to go to where it is that we don't want to go. See, as a faith-driven entrepreneur, and let's talk briefly about faith-driven entrepreneurs. And I've already mentioned, over the past week, the struggles that faith-driven entrepreneurs have, which is faith. Faith-driven entrepreneurs struggle having faith. They struggle, in their physical fitness, a lot of times there's mental fitness, and their unfortunately spiritual fitness. They struggle in their fitness, and they struggle in their finances. When I look at the overarching theme over faith, fitness, and finance, the theme is fitness. I could put faith, but the theme is fitness. Because what fitness says is I have to do something to get fit. Write that down. I have to do something to get fit. There's no way I will have next level faith if I didn't do anything that was worthy of next level faith. There's no way I can have absolute perfect fitness if I didn't do anything to get the fitness. There's no way to have really impenetrable finances if I don't do anything. So it's fitness that runs faith, fitness, and finances. It's a little challenging though, because I got to be honest. I got to be honest about this. Now, I posted something recently. I was like, yeah, back in 2014, I started this health journey, and um, I was intimidated. I was intimidated by fitness. I was intimidated by the weights. I was intimidated by some of those exercises. I was intimidated about the consistency, and I was intimidated about what was going to happen to my body when I changed, the pain that I would have to go through. I was intimidated. Like I was intimidated in January, and I said I would do 500 push-ups every single day. I was intimidated about the pain I'd have to go through. I was intimidated about, man, am I going to, like would it actually hurt me to actually do this every single day? I was intimidated about the process. But here's the thing, I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let it stop me. And I didn't let it cause me not to make the right decision. You know what's interesting about faith-driven entrepreneurs? Faith-driven entrepreneurs, and I'm not saying you shouldn't study the Word of God. There comes a point where you actually have to do something. Because without the doingness, the doingness develops something. What does it develop? It develops concentration. It develops concentration. Well, the overarching thing it develops is change. You start to change. It develops, you start to concentrate more on something very specific, right? All of a sudden, you're starting to get clarity of purpose, right? Look at this. The change starts. You get more concentrated. You start to get clarity. You're starting to see how you can become more certain, because this concentration is doing something to you, right? It's literally doing something. In the fact that you got clarity, it's like, oh, now I'm even more certain. What does it bring out of you? It brings out this newfound sense of creativity. Think about that. We were made to make stuff. God created us to make stuff. And so I'm going to tell you, this is challenging sometimes, because when I see the people in my field, I'm not like them. I'm not like them. And so you have to tap into your creativity to then set yourself apart from people in your field that they may do some things better than you, but they can't be you better than you. Did you see that? They can't be you better than you. So as long as I'm me, I win. But that's tapping into the creativity. See, because the creativity is the side of us that helps us. It helps us to see stuff about ourselves to build our character. See, your character is kind of like when someone thinks of you, they should think of your character. They should think of the attributes. They should think of, man, when they see Jay, they see the healthy accountant, faith, fitness, and finances. They see a guy who is consistent. They see a guy that is changing. They see a guy, like they see all these attributes. When they think of you, they should be thinking about the attributes, and that's your character that you are developing in this change process, because the change process is what I'm discussing, what happens in the change. See, the character piece, it's one of the biggest pieces, because once we mess up the character, if you mess the character up, all that stuff you did won't matter, because then when they associate you, they will remember. They won't remember all the good you did. They'll remember the last thing that they heard or saw, which was bad. And it says, look at this. Even though he did all this stuff, he's still immaculate. He's still out of there. So character is one of the most important pieces, because we don't want to do anything that would corrupt our character in the process. See, all these things, all these decisions that we're making lead us to a point. And the last point I want to make, that it takes us to a place where we actually have to stand firm for something. We have to have courage. See, what is courage? In like when there's danger, you're okay with stepping into the fire. When there's challenges, you're okay with going towards them, right? I think I talked about these the other day. When like literally you see a test and you know you're going to overcome it. You use disbelief, the disbelief that you have, the disbelief that others have as fuel so that you can get stronger. You use what is invisible as what is true. This all takes courage. It takes courage. It takes courage. Like it takes courage. Like and I'm in here. Because there's days when you don't even want to have courage. There's days when, you're like, man, like, I don't know when this thing is going to jump off. I don't know when when the transformation, the breakthrough really is going to happen. And, when we get in a mode where it just, I think Myron says it like this. You got to do it long enough for the things that's working on you to start working for you. So it's like, podcast every day, it's working on you. I'm getting only a few views, it's working on you. It's working on you. It's working on you. Having the courage to allow it to work on you long enough that one day they look up, you look up, and it's like, oh, he's an overnight success. He's a best-selling author. He's on TV. He's on programs. He's on all these podcasts. He's being asked to speak everywhere. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened so fast. Well, let's look at the date. Oh, look at the date. Is this 2024? 2011? That's when I initially got a shift. But if I just go all the way back to when I started my business, that was 2002, 22 years. See, here's the thing. How long will you keep going? See, when we make decisions based on what we want, there's oftentimes, more time there may be more time involved to get there because of all of the things that we've gone through, the things that we've had challenges with. I just want to, invite you, help you, just like I'm helping myself by doing these podcasts. These podcasts help me, make the decisions based on one. And when you see the challenge, don't avoid it. Walk into the challenge. Say, wow, to become a best-selling author, I'll have to do more of this. Wow, to have a business that reaches this amount of people, I'll have to do this. And that challenge becomes the test so that you can use your disbelief as fuel, not even just other people's disbelief, because what's invisible is actually what's true. So making decisions based on what you want is the way that faith-driven entrepreneurs can win, not just in 2024, but they can win for the rest of their life. And that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you for joining me for another episode of the I AFYL Podcast. Today at 11:30 Eastern Time, conversation with an author. I've got my friend David Harris of Harris Publishing. He's an author of multiple books and audiobooks. He's published many books. He's done audiobooks for a lot of people. And he's a high-level coach that helps people to transform. And so you don't want to miss this conversation that we're going to have. It's going to be on YouTube. And it's also going to be on Facebook, on my personal and my Healthy Accountant page. So be sure to show up, and you'll be able to catch the replay if you can't make it live. And be sure to get the book Beyond Tax Strategy so that you can start seeing your path to take tax strategy to go beyond. So that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.